All right, team. The Broncos took a really bad loss on Sunday. It was pretty awful, and it should have been the nail in the coffin for the offensive staff at least. I mean, personally, I think probably the whole coaching staff, but at least the offensive staff. But the question is did Drew Lock put back-to-back solid games together? That's what we're evaluating. I think there's an argument to be made, but we'll jump into the film. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We've got 3 good, a good, bad, a bad, and a good. No, 3 good, bad, good. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Or, as I always say, you can wait to the end. Hopefully I earn it. Let's jump into the film, okay? So the first one, we've got a good, and they're just working the little dog concept, okay? Dog, you've got the deep out, right? Deep out from the slot and the under, okay? We always read this thing 1 to 2. And some people will read this thing bottom up, though, okay? We always read it top down because it was a cover 5 beater for us. But if you're just throwing it as like a standard concept, I'd tell you you're probably going to read that thing under, right? You're probably going to read that thing under to the out, okay? That's why it would kind of be reversed. We also had more of a tempoed little tempo to this route, whereas this looks like it's coming straight in. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos are actually reading this thing 1 to 2, okay? Anyways, what you're going to see here is you're just going to see a great look at it where it's like, hey, this guy gets width, this corner drive the deep out, okay? That's the first. What's so great about this is the first play of the game, and might have been the best look. So that's great. I do think he kind of held the ball a little long for my liking in terms of like I think that we could have gotten that thing out, but you know, that's how it goes. All right, so they've got Flutie here. Okay, Flutie, we've got the deep post, boom, with the sail route, and then we've got the flat route here. Okay, we read this thing 1 to 2 to 3. Okay, what I want you guys to see is watch Drew here. Okay, work this thing where you're going to see him work his whole progression. So boom, 1's not there. Okay, you're going to see this corner drive underneath this sail route. Corner drives under the sail route, so he just gets it outside and checks it down. And it turns into a huge play. The reason I mark this as good is because like I know like a lot of us it's like, hey, that who cares, right? You just threw like a little tight end flat route. Yeah, but it was the progression that I liked. Because that corner goes to try to rob that sail route, doesn't get baited, and then just flips that thing out there for a good check down. And it's a great job of Noah Fant getting to the sideline and then settling down. And then obviously just making a huge play after the catch. This to me was like about time. The Broncos run so much opal, which is the corner route with this option, okay, this little option route underneath, right? Well, what they do here is they make it look like opal. They got the corner route. And then they run him on the Okie twist. It's like about dang time that we ran something off of this concept. And look how open it is. Like, to me, I just think there's what took us so long to get here, to me, is what's frustrating. It's like, what took us so long in this season to get to the point where we're like, you know what? Maybe we need something off of opal. Oh, okay. Let's do opal F return. It's just like, I don't get what takes us so long. Anyways, so those are 3 good. Now we've got ourselves a bad. And this is just, listen, man, this ball has to be out now to the flat. So what they're setting up, okay, and this guy's on a shallow. What they're setting up is this is absolutely number 1. It's an alert flat. Take it right now. And it is wide open to start. Then if that's not there, you just work it 2 to 3 because you've got double over coming, okay? Ball has to get to him now. Ball has to get to him now, okay? Kendall Hinton does a great job of picking this guy. Picking him, right? Like, hey, we're going to rub, but I'm not going to actually hit you. He does a great job making him slow down. This ball has to be on him, has to be on him, has to be on him. Instead, gets out late. We've already recovered. Alberto feels like he's too far at the sideline, so he feels like he can't then go win here, although he probably could looking back at it. But then they make a tackle, okay? So again, if we're going to hold the ball this long, okay, if we're going to hold it, now you've got to work back here to here. Okay, you probably got 2 different shots at it. So to me, that's just bad all the way around. We're going to look at it from the tight. This just has to be a ball. It's a ball out now progression. If he has any separation, you throw it. And then look at Kendall doing a pretty darn good job with that rub route. It's too late. It's too late in my opinion. Okay? Now we've got a good bad. The reason this is a good bad is because I hate the progression. Okay? So they've got heaven with this over. You read this thing 1 to 2. To me, this should be throwaway. Okay? Look. Little stutter pass. Like, this guy's robbing the deep over. This is bracketed, right? Like, there's no reason to throw that. But you throw a good ball and then Cortland Sutton wins. So it's like, I guess it's good. But to me, this is just bad process. This ball's got to be sailed out of bounds. 1st and 10, you live to fight another day. But, you know, you're aggressive hunting with the football. I guess you could have checked it down to, I didn't see that Williams was on a little late release. You could have got it to Javonte. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see a world in which that's a great decision. It gets marked as a good bad because the result was good, which I hate. I hate doing that because it's a process, and that was a bad process. This is jalapeno, so they got double post with the deep over coming. And, man, I love the concept. This is a great ball, great route, all the way around. Sorry, let's talk about the read. You read this thing inside out. Inside out, down, okay? So against middle of the field open, you would alert this as 1. Okay, then you work to 2, then you work to 3. I don't think this is open. I think it's closed, so really you're just reading it outside down. Okay? Yeah, it's closed. So you read it outside down. Boom, gets to his deep over. Noah Fant just drops a little layer shot over this backer. What a pretty ball. We'll look at it from the tight. But the reason I'm like, okay, good, but who cares is because it's like, why now? Why roll this great little concept, jalapeno, out now? When you're down 30 points in the 4th quarter, why did we not load this thing up earlier? Like, we did not see this thing earlier. So to me, it's like, why load it up at that point? So it's like, good, but why now? So, guys, hey, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Also, I've got my Twitter clips after this. So I broke down a bunch of videos on Twitter this week. I put those after this. So if you don't have Twitter and you want to watch a little bonus content at the end, I hope you enjoyed. Please, as always, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And then I will see you guys for another video. All right, peace. All right, team. Drew Lock drilled a free safety in the chest this week. And I saw a bunch of beat writers say what a questionable, terrible decision it was. So we're going to look at the tape to see, was it really? So we dive in. Okay, this is a Broncos staple concept. But they're running it out of 13. Okay, guys, what's 13 personnel? 1 back. Here's our back. 3 tight ends. Boom, boom, boom. We got 3 tight ends to the left side. Okay, and only 1 receiver on the field. Well, what does it do? It forces guys like Bosa into coverage, right? So you get the exact look you want. I'm guessing they were thinking, hey, if we can get Bosa out here, boom, we're going to love this matchup on the stick route, okay? So they're going to work a concept that they run all the time, which would just be sticky short spear, okay? Sticky is just a clean, it's stick, right? You have the clear outside. You're going to read this thing 1 to 2, okay? They pair it with spear, and the way they do this is they read it 1 to 2 to 3, okay? So first let's look at 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, when you sit and go right here, could you argue this throw? To me it's tough, right? I'm far hash. He's playing it relatively okay. 1 skip clean. Could I drill it? Probably. Okay? So 1, boom, not there. 2's, you could say, hey, he's bodied up. Give it to him. But honestly, guys, this spear route is going to come wide open the second he wraps this linebacker. Okay? The second he wraps this, it's going to be wide open. Drew is playing with the anticipation. Look, what he sees right now is he sees Jersey clearing, okay? And a ton of depth from this safety. So he's going to rip this thing, but he falls over, so it ends up drilling a guy in the chest. I have a hard time, though, sitting there saying, man, what a terrible, risky decision. When to me, it's like, listen, man, you work your progression, you get to someone who's got a great matchup and is going to win and just falls. So, all in all, so moral of the story is we got to always look at the tape. You can't go off the TV copy, and was it a terrible decision? No, I don't think so at all. All right, team. This was kind of the last straw for me in evaluating Coach Shermer. They dial up the best red zone concept that I've seen them run all year. and they saved it for when they were down 34-6. Let's jump into the film. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a classic, okay? This is an absolute staple. We've got grabber. Grabber is just letting your big tight end navigate the field, okay? So one, you got Noah Fant, okay? Extremely skilled tight end. You're going to let him navigate. This is one. Then guess what? You've got Courtland Sutton, who is probably one of the best baseline runners in the NFL. What's a baseline route? It's you get up here, you leave yourself -2 from the back of the end zone, and you work the baseline. So as a quarterback, you read this thing, grabber to baseline, and you throw this thing at the upright because you want to let your big receiver go and high point it. Okay, you throw this thing at the crossbar, and then you use this back route to kind of pull and influence players, okay? So, to me, this is not only a perfect red zone concept, the best true red zone concept that I've seen them run. I mean, they ran Philly Special. That was great, right? But the best true red zone concept I've seen them run. And they've got perfect personnel for it in Noah Fant and Courtland Sutton. And then watch how this thing works out. Drew uses his eyes to work this guy, right, to try to get extra influence to the back. Man coverage doesn't matter. Drives a touchdown for the grabber route. Awesome. Man, that's exciting brand of football until you realize that you're already down 34-6 and you had a bunch of other red zone trips that you could have pulled this thing out. Instead, you save it for garbage time. So to me, it's like, man, I don't think I've ever been so upset watching tape or laughed so hard as it's like, hey, game's over. We're watching meaningless football. And guess what? They pull out the best red zone concept that they have shown all football year, all season, in a meaningless point. So, there it is. All right, team. A hot topic in the NFL quarterback world right now is mobility and escapability. Hey, can you create plays outside of structure? Because we've seen it kind of become necessary, and we've got a great clip at why. So you go in here, okay, and this is huge for the Broncos to go from taking a sack and then getting no points before halftime and then walking away with 3 points. Not that it really mattered in this game, but I want you guys to watch how clean of a pass rush this is, okay? This literally looks like a walkthrough. Like, it looks like there's no one there for him. He just jab step. That's what it looks like when I'm taking my 5-year-old one-on-one in the driveway. Boom, jab step, dad gets to the rack, okay? So this right here is a dead play. But if you have a QB with a little bit of mobility, gets out of there, dumps it to his back, and then all of a sudden, you've got yourself a 25-yard game. I want you guys to see this from the tight because it's a perfect example of why this matters. Again, jab step, dad gets home. Boom, you get out of there, doesn't matter. Dump it to your back, 25-yard gain. So when you talk about this, the reason it's become such a hot topic is because you have guys like Mac Jones being successful with, hey, maybe a lack of mobility. But I do think this is just a good general clip of like, hey, I know that guys can be successful without it, but there's just that certain level of play creation that you'd love to see from the quarterback position. All right, team. We've got a great clip of how the Denver Broncos should have had a big play if their quarterbacks tie their feet to their progression. So my original instinct is that this is just another reason Pat Shurmur has to go. I want to caveat it by saying I have no idea what was taught, and this very well could be a quarterback freelancing or thinking he's hot when he's not. But my gut instinct is telling me, because I've seen this concept before with the same footwork, that it's Shurmur, and let's jump into the tape. So this is just fluty, okay? It's just post-sale. Look, you've got the post route outside. You're going to read this as one. You've got the sail route, okay? And then you're down to the flat. The Broncos, however, have this as a 5 plant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I got no idea why. Because this has always been a clean 7 hitch, in my opinion. You do a clean 7 hitch because you want to evaluate this concept. I've seen Teddy do this off of burning up 5 plant, and I've seen Drew do this. Now, you could say, hey, Tim, he's playing fast because he's got sync. I'm not buying it because if you just burn it up 7, okay, so what I want you guys to see is 5 plant, boom, ball's out. If he takes 2 more 7 hitches, why are we not throwing this? And I get it that this guy already reacted to the play, but listen, man, when you look at the coverage and how this thing was shaken out, he was reading this thing out. Look at him. He is reading this thing out long before Drew takes his 5. He's reading this thing through to get to the flat, and he's going to go make a big play for his team. This is why you got a 7 hitch and let this thing unfold. Because you're probably going to get to the sail route, and you're probably going to rip it for 15 yards. So to me, it's like, okay, one, this is either another just indictment on Shurmur, which is probably where I would lean, or it's just another sign that Drew really doesn't understand what it takes to play the position right now, which the rest of the film kind of indicates somewhat of a different message. So to me, it's just another reason that we've got to clean up the staff on the offensive side for the Broncos.